I have a very long rope for politicians because I expect them to make a mistake. So what the Supreme Court said is so troubling at so many levels. I'm so sorry. I mean, it's just, you can't escape being under contempt of court every 5 minutes, it appears to me. What they said is that do not arrest or detain any protester who does not have a criminal antecedents, does not have a prior criminal history, who was participating in the protest. All under 18s with no criminal history are to be released. They are not to have, not to be arrested. Yeah. FIRs will be taken away. And बिहार का तो ये भी था, फ्यूचर अगर ऐसे लोगों का अभी तो हटाओ, फ्यूचर में भी हटा दो. But वो ठीक है, बिहार डिपार्ट. तो what is Supreme Court saying? Supreme Court is saying that if I crack a policeman's skull for the first time, I get away with it. ये लॉ की अंडरस्टैंडिंग है हमारे देश में. I mean, सुप्रीम कोर्ट क्या कहना चाह रही है कि जितना भी वायलेंस हुआ, 120 cops were injured. Today, daughters of some have come out. It's gut-wrenching testimonies of the daughters of injured policemen. Yeah. मतलब they are heroes and they've been let down by the government, by the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court is saying कि वो सब जो भी हुआ वो criminals ने किया और अगर first timers ने किया है तो उनको छोड़ दो. क्या चल क्या रहा है इस देश में?
So what does this mean for the rule of law in this country? Because this kind of a precedent, now that it's been set, what does it mean going forward?
Yeah. What it means is that the state will ask to bend, will crawl. The state will withdraw. It's not the first time that state has done it. Remember, when we had the farm law protests and 400 policemen were injured and people came in, unsavory elements, many of them Khalistanis, they stormed in, they replaced our Tiranga with, another flag. Many of the cases were taken back. So the government has done it before. It's not a question of वो ये master stroke कह लो या कुछ कह लो, But the fact is the state has buckled before. The state will buckle again. What I did not expect was the Supreme Court to buckle. Hate speech ये लोग कह रहे हैं. There are religious scriptures that call me ape, rat, vermin, that want me skinned alive, that want me dead. They are still allowed by the state. People preach them. People revere them. Is that not hate speech? तो ये जब आप किसी को hate speech में अंदर डाल रहे हो, you are being subjective, and that is wrong in my opinion. Because then who draws the line and where do you draw the line?
So you're saying that the kids who, in the heat of the moment,
yes,
or for whatever reason, made these slogans,
even if they were cold-blooded abusers, let me put it that way.
Even they sort of made these very sexually explicit remarks at Jantar Mantar, outside Jantar Mantar. So you think that's kosher and that should be let go?
Absolutely.
Should students involved in the CJP protests get blanket amnesty? Should the government have offered such a promise to the students in the first place? And what does this say about the basic principle of criminal liability, which is enshrined in the Indian law? To talk about all this and more, Anand Ranganathan joins us in our studio.
Always a pleasure.
Once again. And Anand, your take on this entire controversy that is tearing through the Indian political fabric as of now.
Thank you so much, Aditi, as always, for having me. I think it's a mixture of, or let me use the often used phrase, it would be tragic if it wasn't farcical. Or is it the other way around? It would be farcical if it wasn't tragic.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I think what I say, I have been saying over the past few months is, I think we were a banana republic ever since we became a republic. There is no other explanation for it. पहले मैं सोचता था कि हाँ हम बनाना रिपब्लिक हैं, लेकिन हमें ही तो बनाना रिपब्लिक को रिपब्लिक बनाना है. अब मैं उससे भी हार गया हूँ. Not just the fact that people revel in being lawless, it is the people who are upholders, keepers of the law. They are reveling in being lawless. वो मेरी समझ में नहीं आ रहा. ये जो 2-3 चीजें हुई हैं, I think we can discuss this. One is, yes, of course, the CJP has won, the anarchists have won, no doubt about it. The genuine students also de facto have won. The government ignored them, but their wishes have been granted. It's another matter. The right decision was made after the wrong people were heard. But that's subsidiary now. We've moved on to another stumbling block towards Viksit Bharat that has engulfed us, and which is how steeped we are in not just ignorance of the law, in not just violating the laws, but in upholding the violation of the laws. What do I mean by this? ये जो एमनेस्टी दी है, पहले तो गवर्नमेंट ने अंडरराइटिंग करा कि भाई हम जो है जितने भी, this is what the CJP spokesperson was saying, that the government has given an undertaking that it would release all the protesters, whatever that meant. The government never came out. I think Nadda never came out in a written order or something like that.
But there was a press conference.
There was a press conference, they shook hands, whatever it may be. So, yeah, I think the government understood. They didn't negate what the cockroaches were saying. Then comes the, I think in terms of its ferocity, even more violent protests that happened in Bihar. 90 policemen were injured, about 14, 15 vehicles were burned, attacked, arson, stone pelting. And then what happened was the Home Department of Bihar issued a statement, a circular that was widely circulated also, that said no arrest or internment is going to be made against any protester, whatever the crime may be, if that protester was there before 6 p.m. सारे प्रोटेस्ट तो 6 बजे से पहले हुए थे. I mean, I'm paraphrasing now because yesterday I blurted out the exact verbatim thing. And the initiation of FIR withdrawals will start. Any person who does not have a criminal antecedents would be released. It was shocking. Before 6 p.m., after 6 p.m. का क्या मतलब है? आप कोई मॉनिटर कर रहे थे कि 6 बजे से पहले प्रोटेस्टर्स पीसफुल थे? ये सारे जो अटैक्स हुए हैं, पुलिसमैन इंजर्ड हुए, ये 6 बजे से पहले हुए हैं. So obviously they crawled before these CJP people listened to them. But then came, incidentally, a very similar notice was brought out by the Delhi government as well, the Home Department.
Yes,
so it's the same. Today, I think I've got a copy of that. I can read it if you want. चलो ठीक है, एग्जीक्यूटिव ने ये कर दिया, पॉलिटिकल प्रेशर में अंडर आके ये कर दिया. You can, that's why I have a very long rope for politicians, because I expect them to make a mistake. But what the Supreme Court said is so troubling at so many levels. I'm so sorry. I mean, it's just, you can't escape being under contempt of court. Every 5 minutes, it appears to me. What they said is that do not arrest or detain any protester who does not have a criminal antecedents, does not have a prior criminal history, who was participating in the protest. All under 18s with no criminal history are to be released. They are not to have, not to be arrested. FIRs will be taken away. And बिहार का तो ये भी था, फ्यूचर अगर ऐसे लोगों का अभी तो हटाओ, फ्यूचर में भी हटा दो. बट वो ठीक है, बिहार डिपार्ट. तो व्हाट इज सुप्रीम कोर्ट सेइंग? Supreme Court is saying that if I crack a policeman's skull for the first time, I get away with it. ये लॉ की अंडरस्टैंडिंग है हमारे देश में. I mean, सुप्रीम कोर्ट क्या कहना चाह रही है कि जितना भी वायलेंस हुआ, 120 cops were injured. Today, daughters of some have come out. It's gut-wrenching testimonies of the daughters of injured policemen. मतलब they are heroes, and they've been let down by the government, by the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court is saying कि वो सब जो भी हुआ वो क्रिमिनल्स ने किया, और अगर फर्स्ट टाइमर्स ने किया है तो उनको छोड़ दो. क्या चल क्या रहा है इस देश में? एंड सेकेंडली, does the Supreme Court even understand that crimes, obviously a lot of them are committed by people for the first time? Nirbhaya, the rapist, one of the rapists of Nirbhaya was a juvenile, under 18, a first timer. So Aditi, I don't know what to say. I don't know where to go. Where do we go?
But then even if the CJP, and I've been listening to Saurav Das, He's not happy with the Supreme Court either, if you're not happy. Because he says that the Delhi government released a notification, the one that you referred to, saying that FIRs will be not pursued further. He's saying, why have the FIRs? He's saying the FIR should be withdrawn.
But I don't blame Saurav Das or I don't blame Dipke or whoever it is, because that is what I expect them to say and do. But this is why people don't understand me. I have zero expectations of logic and rationale and no hypocrisy from them. Saurav Das से मेरी tete-a-tete हुई live program पे. Obviously उसकी hypocrisy पकड़ी गई, but I still congratulated him because they won in the end.
He was able to bring together, he and Dipke were able to bring together the youth under a single umbrella.
Yes.
That itself is an achievement.
So he is a hypocrite. I don't expect anything from him. People who've let me down is not Saurav Das and this. I don't care about them. Good luck to them. People who've let me down is the government, the state, who's cowardly. But even more than that, because मेरी expectation politicians से भी नहीं है. Supreme Court से तो है बची कुची.
But as I was just pointing to, sorry, I digressed. He's saying that the government should not be using the Supreme Court's order as a weapon against the protesters.
Have people gone mad?
Because he says that the FIRs need to go back. They need to disappear. Otherwise, they will take to the streets again. Forget about just quashing or just not pursuing the FIRs. He wants the FIRs withdrawn. What do you have to say about that?
Right,
because if you are unhappy with the Supreme Court, so are they.
Yes. No, well, now the funny thing is, no one's pointed, the people who were against the CJP and against anarchies were hailing the Supreme Court order, right? Without understanding one of the crazy distinctions that the Supreme Court made that I have analyzed for you, which is that first-timers are to be spared. I mean, that's just crazy. So people were ignoring that and saying that, look, if somebody has committed a crime, then the FIR and the investigations continue. What else do you expect? Well, we are a banana republic. मतलब ये वही कह रहा हूँ बार-बार. I'm sorry. क्यों repeat करो बार-बार? चल क्या रहा है इस देश में?
So what does this mean for the rule of law in this country? Because this kind of a precedent, now that it's been set, what does it mean going forward? Because this is not the first and the last protest that's going to happen on the streets. Of course not, yes. Yeah.
What it means is that the state will, asked to bend, will crawl. The state will withdraw. It's not the first time that state has done it. Remember, when we had the farm law protests and 400 policemen were injured and people came in, unsavory elements, many of them Khalistanis, they stormed in, they replaced our Tiranga with, another flag. Many of the cases were taken back. So the government has done it before. It's not a question of, wo ye master stroke keh lo ya kuch keh lo, But the fact is the state has buckled before, the state will buckle again. What I did not expect was the Supreme Court to buckle. That is what I can't get my head around. I completely expect the state to do that. Because state has done it before, state will do it again at the altar of political expediency. उनको constituency बचानी है, माफी मांग लेंगे, कुछ भी कर लेंगे, झुक जाएंगे, कुछ भी कह लो, जू नहीं रेंगती उनके मुंह पे. They don't have a spine when they decide we don't need to show a spine. But Supreme Court doing this, that's what I mean. I've been let down so many times by every other pillar of democracy. Not to this extent, this pillar, Supreme Court, that I have been let down. In this country, if I am not in jail right now, it is because the state has decided I need not jail Anand. The day state decides I want to jail, अब ये जो गाली दे रहे हैं, किस पहले तो इंडियन पिनल कोड का सेक्शन था, वो भारतीय BNS का, किस सेक्शन के अंदर गाली देने वालों को जेल में डाल रहे हो यार? मतलब I don't understand. And I speak as a free speech absolutist. I know we should discuss that. It's just so bizarre.
Yeah, because there's this girl who had said a lot of things and now there's a zero FIR against her, which the CJP has protested. And frankly, how do you, does it come under hate speech? Because it's not technically hate speech.
So first of all, CJP कोई भी protest करे, a bunch of hypocrites. They themselves, they're not free speech absolutists. They themselves wanted people of other ideologies to be arrested hundreds of times. So it's not that they are speaking from a moral high ground. वो तो हाई ग्राउंड पे नहीं पहुंचते, मॉरल हाई ग्राउंड पे तो बाद में पहुंचेंगे. सो वही कह रहा हूं ना, आई डोंट एक्सपेक्ट देम टू फेयर एनी बेटर. मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि भाई हाउ डू यू डिफाइन, वेयर डू यू ड्रॉ द लाइन. और यहां तो अब इतनी बिजार लाइन हो गई है कि आप किसी को अगर गाली भी देंगे, प्राइम मिनिस्टर भी हो, मोदी हो, किसी को भी हो, तो आप देयर इज अ स्पेक्टर ऑफ यू बीइंग थ्रोन इन द क्लैंगर. आई मीन it's so bizarre.
But what I want to ask you is that, is there a law under which, you're just saying a few words against maybe despicable words, no doubt about it. But that's for me and you to judge as the CJP
this is
leaders
where
are saying.
लोग कहेंगे नेहरू ले आए बीच में, पर नेहरू को लाना पड़ेगा. और नेहरू को मैं इसलिए ब्लेम करता हूँ कि जब छोटा बच्चा होता है ना, तो उसका ख्याल रखना पड़ता है, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होती है बच्चों की. यार ऐसा नहीं कि बच्चा हुआ और आपने उसको छोड़ दिया और वो अपने आप बड़ा हो गया. नहीं, यू गॉट टू मैनेज द बेबी. तो जब हम इंडिपेंडेंट हुए तो हमारे ये फोर फादर्स की ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी थी कि हम ऐसा देश आगे बनाएं जिसको पूरी दुनिया को उस पर गर्व हो. और नेहरू जी ने क्या किया? फर्स्ट अमेंडमेंट ले आए. द फर्स्ट थिंग ही डिड was to curb our free speech. So it is so grey that anything I say, तभी मैं कह रहा हूँ ना, मैं कुछ भी कह लूँ, if it offends somebody's sensibilities, if it disrupts public order, I can be put in jail. अब किसी ने गाली दी मोदी को, ठीक है, कोई सेक्शन आप कौन सा लगाना चाहते हो, आप असमंजस में हो, आपने एक भीड़ इकट्ठी कर दी, पब्लिक ऑर्डर डिसरप्ट हो गया, आपको ये दे भाई, इसकी गाली देने के वजह से पब्लिक ऑर्डर डिसरप्ट हुआ. So that person will go to the jail. I think giving advice to the government will get our backs whipped more than giving advice to judiciary. I don't know. Both are as culpable in this as the other person. But the fact of the matter is, Aditi, and I as a free speech absolutist, it has 4 caveats. Sensible. Let me tell you what the caveats are. कि लोग कहेंगे अच्छा कुछ भी बोल सकते नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. In the name of free speech, you cannot disclose state secrets. Obviously, that's logical. In the name of free speech, you cannot shout fire in a crowded theater, right? Because you are harming physically the people who would run. There'll be a stampede, they might get killed.
Sure.
In the name of free speech, you cannot lead a mob by shouting slogans, kill that, imminent danger. And 4, in the name of free speech, you cannot, digress the boundaries that overlap with defamation, right? So you can say, Anand, you are corrupt, which is fine. But you cannot say, Anand, you took 10,000 crores from Robert Vadra, then I'll sue you, right? So that is another domain. Other than these 4 caveats, I think everything is kosher. Because who decides what hate speech ye log keh rahe hain. There are religious scriptures that call me ape, rat, vermin, that want me skinned alive, that want me dead. They are still allowed by the state. People preach them, people call, revere them. Is that not hate speech? तो ये जब आप किसी को हेट स्पीच में अंदर डाल रहे हो, you are being subjective, and that is wrong in my opinion, because then who draws the line and where do you draw the line?
So you're saying that the kids who in the heat of the moment,
yes,
or for whatever reason, made these slogans,
even if they were cold-blooded abusers, let me put it that way.
Even they sort of made these very sexually explicit remarks.
Yeah.
At Jantar Mantar, outside Jantar Mantar. So you think that's kosher and that
Yes,
should be let go?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
And that the state clamping down on it is obviously not the right way to address, at least endear themselves to this Gen Z, which believes that it's all kosher.
See, the thing is, legally the state is right. जैसे मैंने आपको भी explain किया.
Yeah.
If you look at the First Amendment, state can arrest anybody who says anything. Because if it disrupts, and it did disrupt public order, right? Because people were enraged by it. वही नहीं, offending sensibilities भी है. Public order तो बाद में आता है. And that stems from Rangila, Rasul. You see, everything has a tragic history in our country. And I blame Mahatma Gandhi for that. But कहाँ तक जाएंगे? So Hindus were offended by a terrible script or a text written that denigrated goddess Saraswati and all. And in response, Hindus wrote this Rangila Rasul, a small booklet. And there was this Ilmuddin who assassinated the writer or the publisher of Rangila. It's a very famous case in 1920s. And Ilmuddin was condemned to death. There was no this section 295, imprisonment for offending religious sensibilities. Britishers didn't have it, so they condemned him to death. And what happened was Jinnah fought his case, and at the burial, it was the so-called poet laureate Allama Iqbal who actually sided with Ilmuddin, because they said this guy has avenged blasphemy. They were happy, and Iqbal said कि देखो हम खड़े रह गए और कारपेंटर का बेटा बाजी मार गया. मतलब they were glorifying, so and then came this law, and Gandhi said you cannot insult other religions, you can't. So basically Gandhi put a stamp on it. Ambedkar was against it, but that's history. But the point is, ये सबका हिस्टोरिकल कॉन्टेक्स्ट है. जिस दिन स्टेट ने ये मान लिया कि भाई आपने कुछ भी बोला है दैट ऑफेंड्स रिलीजियस सेंसिबिलिटीज, दैट डिसरप्ट्स पब्लिक ऑर्डर, पब्लिक डिसेंसी भी एक है. अगर कोई भी चाहे तो वो नागा साधु को बंद कर सकता है, आपको मालूम है. You can say you are offending.
Right now we are at this place, you're saying a banana republic.
Yes.
Because as I said, this is not the first or the last protest we are seeing. There's ethanol that's coming up, there's FCRA coming up, there are 100 different reasons.
As Naipaul said famously, India, a million mutinies.
A million mutinies. Yeah. So now these million mutinies which are coming up next, what are the lessons that the state must draw, and maybe what are the lessons that, because the people who have to do these mutinies, they've drawn their lessons.
Yes.
From the cockroach protest.
I think the state has no lessons to draw. The state waits. State is reactive. Our state is never proactive, because they know they will twist and turn, take a U-turn, apologize, or come down, climb down. They can do anything. They have all their cards. They can show at any time. My problem is the judiciary. So, I mean, farm protest पे भी मेरा यही था. मुझे politician से मोदी repealed the laws, Congress took a U-turn. Politician का काम है धोखा देना, hypocrite होना. तो state का lesson learn करे ना करे, state will react without caring about अपनी इज्जत या अपनी spine, कुछ नहीं. Problem is the judiciary, Aditi. और judiciary भी क्या करे? क्योंकि judiciary is going to go by the constitution that has enshrined the First Amendment. So unless you change that, unless you bring back the original constitution regarding free speech, you can't do anything, because that constitution stays. Anything, any person can be offended by anything, which is what it is. So कौन lesson कहाँ पे ले, honestly कोई idea नहीं है.
You're sounding very, very disappointed and not very hopeful about what comes next.
Yeah.
And you sort of...
The state has made us automatons, The state, it's almost... See, वही कहते हैं ना, we are a democracy. सबसे ज़्यादा bludgeon किया है हमारी democracy को हमारे constitution ने. तभी मुझे गुस्सा आता है जब ये राहुल गांधी, अब मैं गाली दूंगा तो मैं तो अंदर जाऊंगा ही जाऊंगा. Brandishing the constitution. अरे, the buffoonery of it. It is the constitution which is dictatorial, which is not being democratic, because it is the constitution and the amendments in it that are curbing our free speech. ऐसे करने से कुछ नहीं होगा. वो बदलो पहले.
Rahul Gandhi, obviously, since you spoke about him, I have to ask my last question about him, and what, of course, he's tried to capitalize on this entire thing and taking credit. Late आए, दुरुस्त आए, because he's made his point in the... I just want to get your response to what played out.
के टिकट बुक कर लिए थे, तो अब कहा कि यार देखो अभी जाऊं या एक वेकेशन जल्दी से छोटी सी करके आ जाता हूं, तो इसलिए लेट हो गए थे.
Okay, so what played out in Parliament on the day of this discussion on this new bill to stop exam leaks, your take on that?
So, yeah, I mean, if you're just talking about that, if this is going to be a sure-shot weapon to stop leaks, obviously not. And it's not even going to be a deterrent, because I've told you, fast-track courts exist for other crimes, and those crimes keep on increasing, rape and POCSO. So, yeah, it's not bad, but let's not look at this as a Brahmastra, I hope.
I'm not talking about the bill.
वही कह रहा हूँ.
I want to talk about what went on in the Parliament.
The ruckus that went off.
Yes.
तो अब what normal है वो, करना है, बोलना है, अब वो प्रियंका गांधी ने जो बोला against our exalted, scientist, one of our great scientist who's basically taking us places in computer science, engineering. तो अब वो बोलते रहेंगे, you know, क्या Priyanka Gandhi is pitted against this thing, you know. What can I say? I expect that from the parliament.
I'm going away from this discussion with a very disappointed.
नहीं बताओ मैं
for
कैसे
the future,
मैं अपॉइंट कैसे करूं अगर बहुत डिसअपॉइंट कर दिया किसको अपॉइंट करूं
आप बताइए किसको अपॉइंट करना चाहिए, सोल्यूशन दीजिए.
मैं बताता हूं किसको. एक तो पता नहीं ये जो नए एजुकेशन मिनिस्टर, आई डोंट नो हिम, बट अगर अपॉइंट ही करना था तो डॉक्टर मीनाक्षी जैन को करते, किसी को करते जो कि एजुकेशनिस्ट है. Here was a chance where you could actually appoint somebody who would have, you know, held the entire thing by the scruff of, you know, and then change the entire system. You need people who do not conform, who have not come out of a system when they've been, you know, bludgeoned into submissiveness. अगर बीजेपी को एजुकेशन सिस्टम चेंज ही करना होता ना तो अब तक कर चुके होते. थक गए, हार गए, आधे लोग हार गए, वैलिडेशन सीख करते हैं, मतलब कंफ्यूज्ड हैं. एक आउटसाइडर को लाना था और डॉक्टर मीनाक्षी जैन आउटसाइडर भी नहीं है. शी इज अ बोनाफाइड एमपी नाउ, यू नो, and you know, she is the pride of the country when it comes to education. She's been in textbook writing, she's advised, in fact she had to resign in one of the committees of textbook writing because they didn't agree to what she was saying. They were still full of leftists there. ऐसे लोगों को लाते, you know, और बहुत सारे हैं, young ones हैं.
Abhijit Tipke has come out and said, he said that why Prahlad Joshi, you've gotten rid of Dharmendra Pradhan. They said they didn't ask for who they wanted as education minister.
Yes.
They said axe Dharmendra Pradhan. So BJP axed Dharmendra Pradhan. The NDA government acted, but then they brought in a Prahlad Joshi, and clearly you don't agree with that choice.
No, I don't. I mean, it's like they could have brought in anyone amongst the RSS leaders or ministers, and they're very gifted ones. I don't know of, maybe he's as good as Meenakshi Jainji, then I apologize to Mr. Joshi. But, you know, I doubt it. There are very few in India who would have that kind of, you know, that power to change education system that Meenakshi ji has. So I know about Meenakshi ji. I don't know that much about Pradhan.
So you see another CJP protest happening anytime?
Ab to hoga. Ab to the government has shown them the way. The government has opened the doors, you know. So it's like the very famous quip, one spinner, I think Pakistani spinner told the Pakistani umpire, I only appeal because your finger goes up. So CJP is only going to protest because the government, अरे भाई बहुत time हो गया protest नहीं हुई, क्या बात है, करो ना.
Okay, so get ready for a
100%.
million mutinies in the
yes.
days to come, and especially as the run-up, and I would say definitely
UP
this is the run-up to UP elections, then Punjab, and then finally, of course, the general elections 2029. So the bell has been rung, viewers, and as Anand says, a million mutinies coming your way, given what has transpired, how the government has handled this, how the protesters have reacted, and of course threatening to take to the streets again. This is Aditi Prasad, and with Anand Ranganathan. We'll see you next week, same time, same place.